Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Listen, glad to have you guys here on this January the 28th, 2021. Now, yesterday, I got all my computer parts, and my old computer, which is actually my better computer, my good computer, that broke a little while ago. Yesterday I had to put it all together, and guess what? Right now. I'm on the good computer. I had to buy a new motherboard. I had to buy a new RAM. I had to buy a new case for it, and a few other things, and a new hard drive. And yesterday I had to put it all together, and I had to reformat the hard drive and reinstall Windows and install all different programs that I use to try to get my show done and everything. Today I got up and running. So yesterday I was working at it. And I was successful because here, I got a good computer now. Uh, the CPU is the CPU I had in the computer from before. I had a Ryzen 6-core, and that's what I'm running on, a Ryzen 6-core processor, which is a really good processor. I'll tell you, it's getting really difficult. It took so long for me to do those videos and video processing on that old Pentium that I was using. I got tired of it. Well, now it's fixed, and I got a good, fast computer that can process videos pretty quickly. With 6 cores, Ryzen is good for video processing. Anyway, let's get started. What I want to talk about here is conspiracies. I believe there are core root conspiracies. Been there all along. And they're real. I'm not going to go into what I believe they are, but I believe there's root conspiracies. But these people that get involved in the conspiracies out there, the problem with that is they start to see conspiracies everywhere. Every little thing's a conspiracy. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually real, the things that they're seeing as conspiracies. Now, I believe there are real conspiracies out there, but is everything a conspiracy? No, I don't think so. And as far as this, let's get started and let's take a look at the markets. Now, what I want to tell you guys is today we are actually seeing the gold price go up. It's a conspiracy! No, it's not. The gold price is going up today. And let's take a look. Let's open up the charts right here. Take a look at what's going on. We're going to take a look at the gold price today. We're seeing it shoot upwards, and this is nice for a change. It's up $13.30, $18.57.90. We need a leader in there right now that's not scared to spend money to get this economy up and running right now, because we're at an inflection point. What that means is we can go either way right here. We're walking that fine line of a tightrope where we could fall to the left or we could fall to the right. But we need a leader that's going to be out there and is not scared to get the printing presses going right now to pull us out of this thing. So a little bit of money printing can go a long way right now in the situation that we're in, And so these politicians, they shouldn't let these people go hungry and stuff, and maybe it is the right thing to do to stop people who earn over $75,000 from getting the stimmy checks. But all of these people who right now are out of work and stuff, they need their stimmy checks, and they need a big one. And then they need to be followed up with UBI, Universal Basic Income Program. They need to get that in there and get it out to the people who really need it the most. It should be targeted to people who have lost their jobs and now are facing eviction and everything else. To keep them from falling on the street. And they need to get that in there, and they need to get off their butts, and they need to do it quick now at this point. And we could very well, if things are done properly and the politicians follow through properly, we could very well move into this summer into a somewhat of a recovery. a more of a move back to normal. And isn't that what all of us want? You know, instead of what we've have and what we've been getting, we're getting sick of this crap at this point. And so all it takes now at this point is a little push in the right direction. That's what we need, a little push in the right direction. Money can do it. And, the dollar's going to die anyway. That's written into the cards. It's math. It can't be changed at this point. The dollar's going to die anyway. So why let a whole bunch of people get evicted and stuff? That just hurts the economy even worse. Makes it go down even worse. And harder and quicker. You know? We can pull this thing up and pull it out of the fire and start to have a little bit of a recovery going into summer and fall, and that would be nice. Boy, by gosh, to have a nice Christmas next year would be nice. So we're looking at a gold price of $18.56. It's up $11.70. Silver today, 26.29 today, and it moved up rather quickly. Now it's fallen back down a little bit, but it's up $1 for today, 26.29. Let's take a look at cryptocurrency today. 954 billion. Let me refresh the page real quick. Yeah, 954 billion with a Bitcoin price of 32,074 today for Bitcoin price. Let's take a look now at our that's the NASDAQ. I don't want the NASDAQ. I want the Dow. The Dow is up 417 points at 30,720. So Dow's moving up again today a little bit. There's, how many opportunities there are out there right now to make money for people, there is tremendous opportunity because of volatility. I'm going to tell you what, the more it's like you ever seen a kid, he gets a guitar, and you got the tuners up there. You turn the crank, and it tightens the strings, and sometimes you'll get a kid and he'll start turning that string tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter until it snaps. Bang! He breaks the string, a guitar string or whatever. The father's all mad at him or whatever. Well, every time he turns that tuner tighter, that's the way with what we have going on out there with all of this leverage in the system, leverage into the financial system. That stock market, as it goes up now, it's like a string that's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. The more money that they add, the more money that they pump into the system. You have to keep it going because that pressure gets stronger and stronger for it to snap. And this is what causes volatility. And this is why the stock market's getting so volatile now. See upswings of like 400. It's not unusual to see swings like a $400, $600, 700 points up or down just in a matter of hours. And that volatility now is translating into all these other markets too and things. So take a look at what happened with GameStop and everything else. This is volatility. So this is what's going on with this. Anyway, let's take a look now at crude oil. Crude oil today is $53.33. It's up 48 cents. So that's what's creating the volatility is the more leverage you put into the financial system, the more the money goes exponential. The more that creates a tight string effect, I'll call it, like the guitar string getting tighter and tighter and tighter until it snaps. Well, anyway, that's what's going on with that. Move index today, 44.16, and it's going along a bit sideways. It's up 1.02. But overall, looking at this chart, there's a very slow downward trend to the move index over the past month. You can see a very, very slow down, but it's very slow with a lot of ups and downs to it, Bond markets and rates today. We're looking at bond yields are on the rise today. Yesterday they were falling, but this is the most controlled market of all. They're not going to let these yields rise too high. We're looking at a 10-year at 1.04. and we're looking at a U.S. 30-year at 1.8, they're going to keep these bond yields under control. Definitely. Dollar index today. It's falling off a little bit, 90.5. It's fell 13 basis points on the dollar index today. So there's where we're going with these markets and stuff. And also talking about the conspiracy people out there. I've never seen anything like it now. About half of the people in the United States, have kind of become conspiracy theorists. But the thing about it is they're up for any conspiracy they hear, and they believe it as gospel truth. And then they're seeing more conspiracies everywhere they look. There are core conspiracies out there that are real. But that doesn't mean that everything's a conspiracy. Like one of the big conspiracies out there is they believe that all of the governments on Earth are impose these lockdowns for some sinister reason or anything. Sinister reasons. I don't believe that that's true. I don't believe that all of the governments are all in on something that we're not in on. All of these people, all these leaders and representatives of every country, I don't think they can work on anything. I think what really happened in that situation was China imposed the lockdowns, and they seemed to work early on in the virus. And most of our world leaders observed that. They saw it, and they could see it in the news. It's obvious. And then the virus started to move into Italy and stuff. And they naturally tried to cut the virus off by locking down cities and stuff. And that kind of created a chain reaction where it became like the hula hoop, back, or these fads. It became a fad for these people in officialdom to, when the virus started to move into their country, was to naturally lock it down. And that became the buzzword amongst them, and I don't think there's a real conspiracy to it. It's just follow the leader. That's what happened. They all fell into place because they're following the leader. And I don't think they even thought about it. They just did it, because everybody else was doing it. But if everybody jumped off a cliff, would you jump off a cliff too? Well, these world leaders evidently would. And this is what's really destroyed the economy worldwide, is the net effect of that. And there's no real hard science behind any of it, whether it works or it doesn't work. For this particular disease, we do know that quarantines do work, and we've used them all the way through history to try to combat disease. But there's been no actual studies of how of when you're starting to deal with a disease that has an R value that's exceedingly high. There's no real studies done out there of how lockdowns possibly could actually work against something like that. But nevertheless, what's done is done. The milk has been spilled at this point. We got an economy that's in tatters worldwide because of lockdowns, but that can be helped now at this point. That can be helped by getting some money out there, boosting everything. Now that the virus is going to start to go away because of because of massive effort worldwide. There's never been an effort worldwide to vaccinate the world like this before, The problem with these situations is we're moving kind of through uncharted territory, and we're kind of winging it. On a wing and a prayer, hoping that the vaccines are going to work to get rid of this disease, and things will come back to a certain type of normal. I don't think things will ever be the same as they were. We had a wonderful a long run of peaceful good times there. Lasted all the way through the 70s and 80s and 90s, and long time. That's unusual for this planet. This planet, chaos and destruction comes quite frequently on a frequent basis. Just look at the surface of this planet. They can find where big meteors and asteroids have hit. Giant craters all over the place. And you know, if it weren't for the vegetation covering up these crater holes and stuff, we'd look like the moon. You see how many craters and stuff are on the moon? That's chaos in itself, not to count all the earthquakes and the volcanoes and the storms and the we have to you know, that's one way of looking at it, is we have a lot of chaos on this planet. Diseases are another chaos. You know, all these things that we're going through right now, they've all happened before. Take 1918 with the Spanish flu. Uh, Very similar worldwide pandemic that our ancestors had to go through. But, you know, things go back to normal in the end, you know, or a new normal. Life goes on. That's the old saying. Life goes on. And that's what's going to happen here. We've come through a really hard time. And I think things are going to start to get back to normal after a certain point. But they're never going to be the same. You know? But we have to roll with the punches. And that's what we're doing. Thank you guys for listening to my report. Like and subscribe. And we'll catch you guys in the very next show. Bye-bye.